Welcome to Garden Jargen with Charlie Durden right here on Beaver County Radio. Charlie is here to talk to you about everything having to do with your garden. Garden Jargon is being brought to you by Beaver County Radio 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Call in now and ask Charlie your gardening questions. Share if you have any gardening tips that have helped your garden grow. Phone numbers are 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888. And now, without further ado, here's Charlie.
It's just not the show unless we have that intro. I'm sorry, Charlie. Good morning and welcome to Garden Jargon. What's up, Charlie?
Well, Frank, I want. What's a good talk show without some controversy? So I want to start off with some tomato controversy today. But before we do that, if people watching on Facebook, we have a picture there of a purplish-looking flower.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, that goes back to last month. A nice lady called us from Chicago last month, believe it or not.
That.
And she had potatoes and no tubers. She had beautiful plants. Now, when a potato begins to make the tubers under the ground, they bloom. That picture, that's a flower on one of my potato plants. If you remember I showed you the potatoes in the trench a couple of months ago? Okay,
Yep.
that's those potatoes. They're blooming, okay? When they are blooming, they're forming the tubers. If they don't bloom, there's a real good chance there's no potatoes down there. And that happened to me one time, and I don't know why. I did everything exactly the same as I always did it, and they didn't bloom, didn't get any tubers. So I just wanted that, if that lady's watching or anybody else is growing potatoes, maybe first time growing it, if you see the blooms, then you know that they're making potatoes. And they may make a lot of blooms, they may make a few blooms, but I wanted to get that up there because that was a topic from the last time. So,
Okay.
The other thing, I'm not going to have an opinion on this. I'm going to ask for listeners' opinions and advice on this. And there's more theories about how to prune a tomato plant than there are about who makes the best automobile. And some people get pretty passionate about it. And like I said, I'm not going to have an opinion. If you prune your tomatoes or you don't prune your tomatoes, all right, call us up. Let us know how you prune them. When do you do it? What do you cut off? What do you leave on? What kind of tomatoes do you prune? What kind do you not prune? Okay.
Well, how do you do it? Or you're not going to give it away? You're not going to give it away. I got you.
I want advice. I want a little suspense.
You want somebody to give you advice for a change.
I take advice. I listen to advice all the time. Free advice is usually worth what you pay for it.
Right.
Okay. But that's because I know there's a lot of gardeners out there. And you know what's weird, Frank? It's not weird. You understand this. People will come up to me and say, "Hey, I heard you on the radio and you were talking about this. Did you know this? Did you?" And I always say, "Why didn't you call? Why didn't you call? That was of interest to you. Why didn't you call?" And
Most people don't.
yeah, they're shy, and I get it. And I'm living proof. It doesn't take any brains to talk on the radio. It's one of those things you just do. So let's wait for a few phone calls here. See, I hope we get some response. Okay, I'm gonna kind of skip around here.
Okay.
Because what I had third on the agenda there was critter control, and the reason I'm not going to go in. Groundhogs, rabbits, deer, they're going to come in. We talked on the radio about the deer and the problems that they cause.
Lots of it.
Lots of it, yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, an 8-foot-high fence is about the only way that you can guarantee to keep the deer away. But you're going to have rabbits, you're going to have groundhogs, you're going to have things that are going to, challenge your garden. And a light fencing will take care of rabbits. We got a call?
Yeah, that's what that means.
That's what that.
Good morning here on Garden Jargon.
Good morning, Frank and Charlie.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom, what's up, brother?
How we doing, brother? Good. Always enjoy your show. Just a side note, Frank, I know I texted you. Really enjoyed your previous show. It's fascinating to listen to.
We could have went for hours talking about that. It's crazy.
Absolutely. I also love the intro for Charlie.
I did that probably 5 years ago.
I'm assuming that you did that one, Frank, right?
Yeah, I did that about five. I think it was about 5 years ago, Charlie, something like that.
Yeah, and the first time I heard it, Tom, the very first time I did the show, and I come in here and I'm shuffling my notes, and that thing came on, and I wanted to use Guy Clark's homegrown tomatoes, but that wasn't a possibility. So Frank cooked up something on his own, and he's got a creative mind, and
Here's Charlie.
Well, I love it. By the way, I don't know, maybe a little slap there, Frank, when Charlie says, "Oh, anybody can talk on the radio."
Yeah, I know, right? I let it go. I just let it go. Whatever.
I was going to text him right after that in case he didn't silence his phone, but I didn't want to.
No, and I silenced my phone before I left the house today and drove through the driving rain to get here. And
why would you silence your phone, Charlie? Well, why would you do that?
Well, because I forget what to do sometimes, Tom, and I make sure that it's silenced before I come in here. and the thing is, I'm not making excuses, but I got kids and grandkids out there, and I very rarely silence my phone because if somebody's trying to get a hold of me, I have missed calls and texts. Unfortunately, it's never been an emergency, but I have missed them because I had the phone silent. So that's the reason.
Right.
That's why you beep my phone when I'm on the air with Frank.
Is that why? Was that you that told me that you have more memory in your memory foam shoes than you do in your brain?
I have to wear memory insoles to remember why I went to the basement.
There you go.
You guys are too much. So listen, here's my personal opinion on pruning tomatoes. I have no clue. Here's what I do with tomatoes. I eat them.
Okay, so how's Judith prune them? Does she do that, or she just grow?
All right, I'm going to turn it over to the expert here.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Hello,
Judith.
Well, here's the answer. You say, do you prune or not prune? That's the question. Well, here's the answer. You do prune, but you only prune so much, right? You want to keep the suckers on the bottom branches, but take them off on the top. Because once they start getting real big, it gets too dense at the top. There's no ventilation, there's no circulation, there's no sunlight. Then you start getting disease and things like that. Plus, you want all your nutrients and your energy going to so many fruit. You don't want tons of fruit on there also because then you get little tiny tomatoes and they're not as good.
Is that kind of the same as deadheading flowers, sort of?
No, you don't take off the flowers. You take off the suckers.
Okay.
They're called suckers, and they grow between each new branch that comes out on the side.
Okay.
So you leave them on the bottom. These are indeterminate, but you could also do determinate. Typically you don't, but if your determinants start getting too bushy, start clipping them off at the top because you will not have any.
What is a determinant?
I was just going to ask that same
will
question,
only grow
Tom.
so big, and it stops growing. Indeterminate can grow and grow and grow. And then also on your indeterminates, if you have them staked or in a trellis or something like that, and they start getting above that, you could cut that top off and stop it from growing. Because you don't want it to be 8 or 10 feet high and falling over on you. So.
I was going to say, does that keep the heaviness away too?
Right. So that's the secret. Everybody should you or shouldn't you? Well, you should, but not the whole tomato plant, just where it needs to be done. What do you think, Charlie?
Okay, because I very rarely prune. If they get totally out of control, I prune them. And I was kind of doing a little research about pruning the tomatoes, and that's when I realized that everybody that has access to the internet has an opinion about how to prune these. What you said is the most common thing, that you want to trim the indeterminate tomatoes more than the determinate. And we talked about this before. A determinate tomato produces most all of its fruit in a very short period of time. In a couple of weeks, you'll get a whole bunch of tomatoes, and then it stops producing. Commercial growers love them because they want to harvest everything and plant something else. But the indeterminate is what the home gardener generally plants because it will, once it starts producing fruit, it'll produce till a killer frost takes it out. And we had a little problem with Frank. Frank was picking the green tomatoes off to make room for the red ones, and we had to stop.
No, that was the squirrels.
That was the squirrels.
Those damn squirrels.
Don't even get him going on the squirrels and the cats, man.
Oh, damn squirrels. I've had enough of them.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If you want good information on how to garden, you listen to Charlie, or you do go on the Internet, and you always go to the National Gardening Association because they are the world authority on gardening. So, I mean, the National Gardening Association and Charlie Dirt are the ones.
Well, we'll eliminate one of them. Let's just eliminate Charlie Dirt. Now, the National Gardeners Association, is that what you would Google?
National Gardening Association. That's the world-renowned gardening association.
Okay. So you learn something all the time. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you one more question about tomatoes. We talked about this briefly a while back. There are some people that just leave the tomatoes lay down on the ground and put a bunch of straw under them and let them go like that. I don't like to do that because of disease and rot and animals.
Squirrels.
Squirrels. Well, we hook Gabby up with a nice hanging basket and a purple tomato plant, and the squirrels have 86 both of them.
Damn squirrels dug it right out and put peanuts in its place.
Yeah. Well, and that's what when you tie your tomatoes up, there's all different kind of ways. Frank's got a picture up there. I just staked mine this year, and I'm tying them up. I have built arbors for them. There are cages for them. Judith, when you send Tom out to tie up the tomatoes, what do you tell him to do?
Don't come back till it's done.
I use the ones that you build. I don't use those cages that you buy at Home Depot or whatever. I have the ones that have the stakes, and then they have the little arms or connectors that go around them, and I have them in squares. And then that way, when they start growing, you could take those off and move them around and hold your branches up on it. The other ones, the tomato cages, sometimes your branches get caught in there and you can't adjust it. So I use those, and Tom,
I eat the tomatoes. I'll send you, Frank, a picture of Judith's tomato cages, because I don't know if Charlie's phone can get pictures. I have no idea.
Well, here's one.
I can get pictures.
The cost of kerosene is too high right now.
Well, yeah, and I need a new wick in my phone, so the pictures aren't coming out real sharp.
The other thing I do with my tomatoes is, I buy them obviously in pots, but I grow a lot of mine in pots also. So once they start getting bigger, what I do when I go to transplant them is I cut off all those bottom branches and I bury that deep, because the deeper your root system goes, that's better for the plant. You're absorbing more nutrients out of the soil, and it's a sturdier plant because it's deeper. It doesn't have a shallow root system. So, and then it starts growing. So my root system at times could almost be as tall as the tomato plant itself.
Right. And that's one thing that I learned a long, long time ago. If you have an exceptionally tall plant before you transplant it, you can actually dig a trench instead of digging a hole and bury it in a trench and just leave the upper part come out, and all them roots come shooting out of it. Because you'd be surprised, once you get that down in the dirt, them roots start coming out of that stem like crazy. And you're right. You get a good, strong root system to feed the plant, and because I had those round wire cages. Somebody gave me a whole bunch of them one time that had give up gardening, and no matter what I tried with that, the limbs would go out through the cage and break, and you couldn't deal with the tomatoes. It was hard to prune. It was hard to do anything. And I guess if you just had a small patio type tomato that didn't get real big, the cage would work. But they're a full-size tomato. I don't like them. So you build them square, like out of fence wire?
I just sent you the picture. You should both get it. I don't know about your phone, Charlie. You might get it next week.
Yeah, they sell them. You can make them, in a triangle or a square. They look like those green stakes that you could buy at Home Depot, but there's 4 of them. And then they have the little connectors on them, so you could build the cage itself.
Ooh, and they're purple.
These are 72 inches, so these are 6 foot high. Yeah, mine are purple.
They're purple.
Because I like color.
It's all right.
Well, purple's the color of royalty.
That's right. I got royal tomatoes.
Okay, yeah, I got the picture. See?
No. Do you want to see it on a real phone, Charlie?
No, that's okay. This phone works.
I mean, you can enlarge it on mine too and look at it.
Well, I can go into the guide. I can crop it. I can do all kinds. Okay.
Boy, he is so technologically
I'm telling
advanced.
you, man.
It's
It's never mind just putting your finger on it and pulling it so it grows. Zooms in.
Okay. Well, if you guys are making fun of me, you're leaving somebody else alone. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, because I very rarely prune them. Sometimes when they were getting out of hand, I would, and I know about pruning the suckers. Now, Judith, 2 other questions. What do you prune them with? What do you cut them suckers off with?
Oh, I have little snippers that I have. And, of course, every time I do a tomato plant, I disinfect the blades on it every time I go to the next tomato plant, because you want a nice, clean, sterile cut when you cut those suckers off.
Fertilize your tomatoes.
Of course I do.
What do you use for fertilizer? What's a good fertilizer? Besides
what
the
do I
neighbor.
use? Farmers. Yeah, I use all organic fertilizers. I just did it today, and I use that CalMag, which is the calcium, the magnesium
Okay.
for them. But it's all liquid. I use liquid fertilizers, and I walk around with my little watering
Yeah, she
can.
has a schedule on the calendar on what time and what day she has to fertilize.
Well, and yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Judith, because calcium is vital to tomato plants. One of the biggest questions that's out there I get all the time, the blossom end scar or the blossom end rot, where the tomato is starting to get ripe, you get the black spot on the bottom, the black goes all the way up through the core. That is usually, most of the time, it's a calcium deficiency, and people don't think about you need calcium for the tomato plants. And I cheat a little bit. I use things like Miracle Grow, and the tomato elixir that I make up that I put on my tomatoes is I take a gallon watering can, put in a can of beer, a couple of calcium tablets, dissolve them, tablespoon of Epsom salts, tablespoon of Miracle Grow, and stir it up and put it around the roots of the plant. And that seems to give it. Beer makes me happy, so I figure that's why the tomatoes grow so good, because they're happy.
I have natural. I have all natural in my neighborhood too. It's called Cats.
Cats.
So if anybody's watching on Facebook or YouTube, I did just actually put the picture of Judas tomatoes plants up there. So it's on the Facebook now.
San Marzanos.
Oh, there's San Marzanos, she's telling me.
Okay,
that's a good paste tomato. And I grow San Marzano, and I grow the giant Serbian, the Novokoski Jocucar. That's the main two. I've whittled it down over the years. I used to grow all different kinds, okay? I'm a seed saver, so you can save the seeds from the San Marzano because it's not a hybrid. The giant Serbian is an open pollinating heirloom type tomato. And I like the San Marzano better than Aroma tomato if you're using it in the sauce, because to me the San Marzano has more flavor. The Aroma's okay for thickening the sauce up, but if you want a little extra flavor, I like the San Marzanos, and they're easy to grow.
All right, well, we don't want to monopolize the show and hold everybody else that's calling, but so, Charlie, you not only had the distinction of the first time Judith called somebody on air, but now you have the distinction of the longest conversation she's ever had on air.
Charlie, can you cover this for me? I'm going to Tom's house.
Why would you want to come here, Frank? You should smell those cookies.
Yeah, the cookies coming out of the oven. Look at this. I'm on my way. See you, Charlie. I'll see you guys later.
I know Judith is a tremendous cook. She makes hundreds and hundreds of meatballs during the holidays.
Oh, they're good too.
Yeah, I've never had the pleasure of enjoying them, but I know Tom is the meatball roller, and Judith he controls. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I think you guys know too much about me.
You divulged to know on the air, Tom.
Yeah.
That's the only way I know.
I'll tell you, all Beaver County knows too much about you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I thought every time I was talking to you guys on the air, it was just the three of us.
No.
Well, all you got to do is say something to tick the public off, and you'll find out how many people are listening.
There you go. All right, buddy.
Well, I have faith you'll never do that, Charlie. Thank you both. We really enjoy the show. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for calling and straightening me out. And and I'm glad that you sterilize the tool between the tomato plants.
All right. I got nothing.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you. Bye.
The Newsboys here.
724-774-1888, 43-1888. We'll be right back after this here on Beaver County Radio.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
It's time to wake up, Beaver Valley, with Pastor David Grove from the Church of the Redeemed of Beaver Valley. Tune in to Beaver County Radio this and every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. It's time to wake up and turn our hearts back to Jesus Christ. So wake up early this Saturday and tune in to Wake Up Beaver Valley from 9 until 10 a.m. right here on Beaver County Radio. Looking for something fun and delicious to do? Cruise on over to Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican Food from noon until 3 p.m. on Sunday, June 14th for the second of 6 cruises this year. We will have a live broadcast during the cruise, and our Beaver County Radio Birthday Prize Wheel will make an appearance with great prizes. While you're at Hank's, you can enjoy some of the finest custard and Mexican food in the area. Beaver County Radio's live broadcast at Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican Food is being brought to you by Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends, AK Nahhouse Appliance, Furniture, Mattress, and TV, you'll do okay with AK, Moon Honda, Monroe Auto Body, All Access Truck and Auto Sales, Gnu's Body Works, and Beaver County Radio.
It's summertime and the living is easy until your air conditioner suddenly quits. Now it's hot, the air feels heavy, and nobody's comfortable. You might even hear,
"I can't live another day like this."
This is Eric 9 with Homer 9 & Sons. And when your AC goes down, this is the time to call us. Because you don't want to wait, you want it fixed fast and fixed right the first time. At Homer 9 & Sons, we deliver professional, dependable service to get your home cool and comfortable again without the stress. And right now, for a limited time, get your AC tune-up for just $79. If it's time for a new system, we offer trusted brands like Lennox, plus financing options designed to fit your budget, so you can get back to enjoying summer the way it's supposed to be. Homer 9 & Sons, quality home comfort since 1943.
If you own a company or a small business, you might have considered advertising on radio. It's smart because radio is still the most far-reaching media outlet today. WBVP and WMBA can get you results. Get more information at beavercountyradio.com.
These days, it seems like you can get anything delivered to you. One click and bam, groceries or lunch is on the way. That gave me an idea. This is the man that never stopped learning, Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union. It's also no secret that with Adams Street closed for construction, street-level access to the Rochester office is challenging, to say the least. So, that gives me an idea. Teller Dash. Hey, why not? If going up the outside stairs and using the drive-thru is an issue, give us a call from the parking lot, and Freedom United will Teller Dash out to you. Just dial 724-774-5575. Just think of your driver's side door as your own teller window. The Rochester office continues to be open during construction, and the Center Township and Harmony offices are available as well. So you can put a little freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning. On this Wednesday, June 10th of 2026, we will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. The Beaver County Chamber of Commerce will hold a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the opening of McCarl's new headquarters and fabrication facility in Aliquippa. The event is scheduled for 10 a.m. on June 19th at the company's new facility at 210 BetTech Drive. McCarl's recently acquired the 80,000-square-foot building as part of a $15 million expansion of its pipe fabrication operations. Company officials said the expansion is intended to increase production capacity and meet growing customer demand. According to the company, the project is expected to create approximately 130 jobs over the next 5 years. Pennsylvania State Police in Pittsburgh reported yesterday that a 39-year-old Pittsburgh man was charged after crashing his vehicle in Findlay Township on Saturday. According to police, Malanes Al-Rife was fatigued while driving home from work on Interstate 376 East at 8 a.m. He then left the road before eventually hitting a guide rail. There were no reported injuries. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board recently announced that a professional calligrapher will be at select fine wine and good spirits locations to personalize bottles of Maker's Mark bourbon with custom messages in celebration of Father's Day. This special program is combined with a curated tasting by a Maker's Mark diplomat who will guide guests through the full Maker's Mark portfolio and will share insights into what makes the bourbons that will be offered so exceptional. If you want to participate, you must be at least 21 years old. The products available for these events and the schedule for them can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. The Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission released the 2026 Summer Readiness Overviews submitted by the Commonwealth's major electric distribution companies, or EDCs, and the Regional Electric Grid Operator, PJM Interconnection LLC, yesterday. The reports indicate that Pennsylvania's electric utilities and PJM have completed extensive preparations for the summer season, including infrastructure upgrades, system maintenance, emergency response planning, storm hardening efforts, and investments in technologies that are designed to improve reliability and resilience. PennDOT District 11 announced schedule changes for beam delivery and placement work on Interstate 79 in Marshall Township and Franklin Park Borough this week, weather permitting. Local and state police will assist with traffic control at signalized intersections during the closures. PennDOT confirmed that the updated schedule for beam delivery and placement operations is expected to occur between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m. each night. The schedule and detour for this work can be found on our website at beavercountyradio.com. And NASA revealed the crew for its Artemis 3 mission yesterday, the next step in eventually landing astronauts on the moon. NASA's Randy Bresnik, Frank Rubio, Andre Douglas, and the European Space Agency's Luca Parmitano won't fly to the moon or land on the surface. Instead, they'll orbit Earth while practicing docking their Orion capsule with lunar landers. The demo is targeted for 2027. NASA's Artemis program aims to land astronauts on the moon for the first time since the 1970s.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Today we'll gradually see some sunshine, along with the chance of showers and a possible thunderstorm as well. We'll reach highs of 84 and drop down to lows of 72. And tomorrow look for gusty winds and partly sunny skies with a chance of rain and thunderstorms. Expect highs in the mid-80s and lows of 73. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Wednesday, June 10th of 2026 at 37 minutes after 11. We've got a temperature of 81 degrees, and it's overcast out there currently in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Weekday mornings were meant to drive in the fast lane. It's Frank Sparks on Beaver County Radio.
All right, we're back here on Garden Jargon. I guess I screwed up, Charlie. I didn't play your open again. Darn it.
Oh, I
love that.
I won't sleep tonight worrying about that, Frank.
Oh, jeez. I'm just here. Wait, hold on.
Thanks for tuning in to Garden Jargon with Charlie Dirt right here on Beaver County Radio. It's being brought to you at Beaver County Radio 95.7, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and beavercountyradio.com. The phone lines are now open, 724-843-1888 and 724-774-1888.
All right, now that's better. Now we got it, and we're going to jump right back out to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on Garden Jargon.
You know what?
Hey, there you are. I wondered, are you okay? I was wondering. I haven't heard from you in weeks.
I was just going to text Frank yesterday, see what happened to you.
Well, I'll tell you what. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I fell down my darn cellar steps.
Oh.
And hurt my side and my shoulder. But now I've been working outside, trying to get stuff done outside.
Tell Judy we're mad at her because she didn't tell us that you got hurt.
No, sorry, no.
No, we wondered. I was just thinking about it yesterday. I think it was yesterday, the day before. And I said, man, I haven't heard from Georgie in a long time, and I wanted to text you, and I got busy yesterday. I never texted you to see if you were all right.
I was thinking the same thing because, I listen all the time. I hadn't heard you. So are you okay now?
Yeah.
Physically or mentally?
Put my arm over up to my head, you know.
We're glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, thank God for that, for sure. I thought I broke my head open, but it's too hard to break. Like, too many rocks inside me. But I have a question to you guys, since you guys are on the gardening and all this stuff. Question: why, when we buy vegetables and fruit today, bring it home? I don't care what store I go to. You open stuff up like bananas and we just had a pepper. Open the pepper up, it looks beautiful on the outside. Open up inside, it's all rotted. Same with the onion. What the heck is going on?
What?
Do you have any idea?
You mean like the pepper was looking good on the outside and rotten on the inside?
Yeah. Usually if a pepper goes bad all the way, it's real mushy on the outside. But this bugger was rotted on the inside. It smelled so bad it was unreal.
Preservatives?
Well, you know what, George, I'm going to tell you something. I wish I had a pat answer for that, but commercially grown fruits and vegetables, they use a myriad of chemicals, and they may have sprayed something or used something on that pepper that caused it to rot from the inside out. And not trying to top your story, but I actually have a picture. I broke down in the wintertime and bought a couple of tomatoes because, there was nothing in the garden, actually. And I cut the tomato open, and you know how the seeds are in the tomato? There were little tomato plants starting to grow inside the tomato. The seeds in the tomato, it started to germinate. And this goes clear back to my 35 millimeter film days. And I took a couple pictures of it, and who knows? They use so many weird chemicals, and they do. And I don't want to diss the farmers, because it's tough to make a living, and it's tough to fight the insects, and it's tough to deal with all that stuff. But what you're seeing, and what was you saying about bananas going bad from the inside out too?
Yeah, I buy the best bananas. I even buy them green, and if you open them up, you get halfway down the banana inside, it's all rotted inside.
I've had that happen too. And the thing is, George, those plantations where they grow those bananas, they've been growing them in the same place for years and years and years and years and years. They're using whatever kind of fertilizer they can use to replenish the soil. So the banana that you get and eat today is not the same kind of banana you got when you were a kid. I've had bananas, you go to peel them, you can't even, the end is like rubber. It just bends back and forth. You got to split it with a knife, and it's just. I'm not trying to dodge the question, but it's a commercial farming, and it's what you deal with. That, George, that's why you need to plant some plants and grow some of your own stuff.
Well, I used to plant a lot of gardens years ago, but this Judy and it doesn't really pay me to have it. I tried my tomatoes. I put tomatoes in 5-gallon buckets in them, and I had a nice tomato crop. It was real good. And but then the animals get a hold of it. My grandfather's old saying was, you plant a garden, you plant for your neighbors, you plant for the animals, and you plant for yourself.
Well,
so you have to put a bigger garden in to have a decent garden anymore.
Right, and that's true, and you talk about the animals, and that's kind of what I was alluding to before the break, because I just wanted to touch on this slightly. In your container gardening, in one of the future shows, I want to do some stuff on container gardening, because you can raise a lot of food in the containers. But the critters that are going to come around, rabbits and deer and groundhog and that, and
squirrels
and squirrels. Okay. Anyway,
cats,
yeah. But this is the main point I wanted to make, and I'm glad you brought up about the critters. If you got rabbits coming around, a light fence will do. A box wire fence, even like a chicken wire, will keep rabbits away. You live in Economy Borough. You know how many groundhogs you got. You can have chain link fence, and a groundhog will burrow underneath. I've had groundhogs move cement blocks to dig a burrow under my shed. And this is the point I want to make. I'm just going to say, do not trap and relocate groundhogs and raccoons for 2 good reasons. Number one, actually 3 good reasons. It's against the law. It's against the law in the state of Pennsylvania to trap and relocate those animals for the main reason of rabies control. The second reason you don't want to do it is you're taking your pest and you're taking it to somebody else's neighborhood. Now, somebody else is going to have to deal with it. So, yeah, and because groundhogs, they're bad. They dig under the fence, and Rick had problems with deer, and we did a little research on the air the other day, and Frank found out that the 8-foot fence is the only way to keep the deer away. And all that voodoo, the mothballs and human hair and all that stuff, it doesn't work. You have to eliminate the pest.
Yep. I got Gus living money I said in the back.
The raccoon?
Yeah, we had a raccoon here. We got bird feeders now outside of it. And a hummingbird. We have a real high pole. Would you believe that that coon got up there and grabbed that feeder and then busted it off? Was in there licking the darn sugar water out of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's sad? When I noticed we're building so many homes in our areas, and the poor animals have nowhere to go. So what do? They venture in your yard.
Right, and I know you're an old timer like me. I don't have to tell you, if that raccoon is present in the daytime, you stay away from
he's one. I had one around, shot one. You know, I shot one time.
Yep. Yeah, because they're nocturnal. They're nocturnal. If they're out in the daytime, they're rabid or they have distemper or something. And yeah, raccoons are very destructive.
Yeah, they sure as heck are. They sure are. Okay, I won't hold you up in case someone else wants to call. And I'm doing pretty good, guys. Hold on, Judy wants to say what.
Beaver County Boom has something to say, Frank.
Yeah, my Georgie Porgy's full of him. He fell in March, not a couple of weeks ago. He's full of it. March 30th is the exact day he fell, so you can believe me.
Well, it had to be a month since I heard him call in.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, it's been a while. You know what he's been doing? He's been painting steps, painting walls, cutting the grass. You know, he's doing stuff like that. So.
Gotcha.
Keep him out of trouble.
He went with my uncle. He's been going over to the nursing home to see my uncle's wife, so he's been doing that. So, but.
Well, we're glad to know that everybody's
that
okay.
Much in the summer, you guys.
Yeah, I know, but we're glad to know that everybody's okay. We're concerned. We like our radio family.
I know. I listen to you, Frank. I get a kick out of you sometimes. You're really good.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Judy.
Okay, here's Georgie.
All right.
Okay, you guys take care. I tell a little fib once in a while, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay safe, George.
All right.
You guys later. Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, you know what time it is, Charlie?
What time is it?
It's time to find out what flavor Gabby's got at Hank's today. Ready?
Let it rip.
Maybe.
Flavor of the day. Today's flavor is peanut butter.
Ooh.
Head on over to one of my favorite places, Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican Food in New Brighton today.
And we're going to be there on Sunday for the Hank's Car Cruise, and we've got a lot of things in tote with us. Some of our new Beaver County Radio T-shirts that we'll be giving away. Plus, also, things are heating up with the new Fever Doubler scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery with 5 fiery prizes. Top prize is $250,000. This ticket is straight up sizzling, scratch Fever Doubler, and feel the heat. It benefits older Pennsylvanians. You must be 18 years or older, and please play responsibly. And here, Curtis is going to tell you about Sunday.
Beaver County Radio and Moon Township Ford are teaming up for the 4th annual Cruisin' the Ridge Car Cruises. This year's car cruises are presented by A.K. Nahhouse Appliance Furniture Mattress and TV and Dan Hoffman State Farm Insurance. Join us this Saturday, June 20th from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. for the 2nd cruise of the year. The cruise is being held at the Beaver County Radio Studios at 4301 Dutch Ridge Road in Brighton Township. Solid Gold Saturday host J.D. Merkel will be spinning tunes in the parking lot. There will be food trucks, a 50-50, and a chance auction. The cruises are rain or shine, and the first 100 receive a dash plaque. Collect all 5 for a chance at a special prize at the end of the year. Cruisin' the Ridge is also being sponsored by Tri-County McDonald's, Patriot Home Care, Monroe Auto Body, NovaCare, J. Young Refuse, NAMI Beaver County, and Beaver County Radio.
Summer is here and the deals are red hot, maybe even hotter than the summer's hottest days at Moon Township Ford. It's the America Value for American Values employee pricing program, and it's just in time for your 4th of July celebrations. Be the buzz at your 4th of July cookout with a brand new F-150, Bronco, or Bronco Sport in your driveway. Ford has extended the military discounts to all the armed services. Combine that with employee pricing, and your savings are out of this world. They're also buying cars every day, and they're paying over the moon to fill their current inventory needs. Call or come in and see them today. Ford's America for America employee pricing program going on now at Moon Township Ford, University Boulevard in Moon Township.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Hey, Bill, what's going on? I haven't seen you here in a long time.
Well, my mom can't stay at home any longer, and I've been trying to figure out what the best placement options are for her. There's so much to consider. Location, cost, eligibility, payment options, services. It's confusing and time-consuming.
When my dad was having the same issues, I called Charlie Jenkins. Charlie is a local independent senior living advisor who will help you navigate through all those questions. She was able to explore options that fit our preferences and met my dad's needs within his budget. Her business name is C. Jenkins Placement Services, and it was exactly the one-stop shop I needed. Once we took care of getting Dad set up in the right place, Charlie's business coordinated everything I needed to get Dad's home in shape to sell. It was a huge relief having all that managed, especially with my long work hours. She also offers a no-obligation consultation.
Really? How can I get a hold of Charlie?
You can call or text Charlie at 724-714-1774 or email her at cjenkinsplacesforyou@gmail.com.
Wow, I'm going to give C. Jenkins Placement Services a call right now.
Have you tried one of McDonald's crafted sodas yet? Whether it's a dirty Dr. Pepper, Sprite Berry Blast, or Orange Dream, your taste buds are in for a pleasant surprise. Perfect for lunch breaks, afternoon pick-me-ups, or any time at all. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
You're driving in the fast lane with Frank Sparks on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. You can also stream live on beavercountyradio.com.
All right, we're back here on Garden Jargon. Charlie Dirt.
All right, Frank, I promised Frank I was going to ask him a personal question to come in. Okay. You go out to dinner, you and Dawn and Gabby.
Okay.
How much do you spend? How much do you plan on leaving or foresee leaving at the restaurant for dinner for 3 people? Ballpark.
You mean how much I'm going to pay, or how much I'm leaving for a tip?
No, the whole night. You know.
Oh, it's easy, $70.
Okay, that's my point. For the price of one night out to dinner, you can plant a garden.
Okay.
You could, and remember, I always say, if you start a garden, it's not too late to start a garden. We're only mid-June. You can still grow a lot of things, okay? And I always say, start small, start modest, because if you make it too big, it'll get ahead of you. You'll get frustrated with the weeds and keeping it watered and all this and that, and animals digging stuff up.
Right.
But
Squirrels.
if you want a benchmark to start a garden, even if it's only a couple, you know, if you go by yourself, you go to a restaurant, you can start a modest or a little container garden. You know, Judith was talking about growing things in containers. You can start for that kind of money. So if you're totally unaware about what it's going to, you could go spend $1,000 to plant a little garden if you don't watch what you're doing. But if you shop around a little bit, you use your head, okay? And now, and this is another thing that just popped into my head. There are places that have plants. They have vegetable plants. They have flower plants. We are now getting into the time of year they're going to start to mark them down and put them on clearance.
I just seen a bunch at Walmart yesterday, and they were pretty high tomato plants.
Yeah,
but they didn't look too good. Like, you could have probably bought them back, but I'd have just killed them more than they.
Well,
they looked pretty bad, like hadn't been watered.
Well, see, that's what happens, and that's what breaks my heart, you know. And I don't. If I haven't bought plants in years because I started everything from seed. I have the little greenhouse, but if you want to buy plants and you're go to a greenhouse or go to a store, maybe like a fruit market that sells greenhouse plants on consignment from a local greenhouse. Mm-hmm. They're going to have been taken care of. They're going to be in better shape because I have seen hundreds of plants wither and die in that outside thing at Walmart out there just for a drink of water, you know. And so anyway, yeah, if you try $70 for less than that, you could put in, and like you could still plant beans now, you could still plant carrots, you could still plant all kind of stuff. So that's kind of a little bellwether thing about if you're thinking about what's it going to cost you. Okay. Now, I talked about making your garden small to begin with and modest. I get the most I can out of every inch of my property. If you look up, if you have the pictures there, Frank, There's a picture of cabbage.
I was looking at a picture that Tom just sent me of Judas pruners. They look like a woodpecker.
Okay, I've seen them cabbage. Yeah. And because there's all different.
Cool.
There's all different kind of pruning tools.
Okay, so what are we looking at now?
Okay, it's cabbage. It's like 3 or 4 rows of cabbage. Okay.
I'm getting there. Yeah, okay, I got it. Hold on. There, that's on the screen.
Okay. So people can still hear us with that up on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes okay.
That's because I didn't put audio in. I put audio in this time. Last time I forgot.
Oh, okay. Well, it is what it is. But there's 50 cabbage plants there, Frank, and they're 12 inches apart. Now, stop and think about this. You go to the grocery store and you buy a head of cabbage. How many times are you going to get a head of cabbage that's bigger than 12 inches in diameter? Not too often.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So you plant them 12 inches apart. The heads have room to form. And see how the leaves on the cabbage are spreading out?
Yep.
They will actually help you. When they'll actually almost touch or nearly touch. Keeps the weeds down, keeps the moisture in the ground. Now, you want to mulch it too for those two things. But I plant cabbage plants 12 inches apart. I plant pepper plants 12 inches apart. I plant tomato plants 18 inches apart. I plant corn rows 24 inches apart with the seeds 6 inches apart. Okay? You got to learn to work around it if you haven't planted that close together. But it's actually funny sometimes if you look at some of these seed catalogs and they'll talk about your tomato plants, or you look on a seed package and it'll say plant the plants 28 inches apart in rows 36 inches apart, and you're gonna need half an acre to put tomatoes in, and then you're gonna have to keep weeds out of that great big area. If you plant a lettuce, you can plant lettuce in rows 12 inches apart.
Okay.
Gives you room to work, and it helps you keep the weeds and that down. So if you're thinking about starting a garden, do a little research. Got a bellwether there for, a measuring stick of what it could cost you. And let's see. You should have a picture there of tomatoes.
All right, gotta make it quick because we only got about a minute left.
All right. Those tomatoes, that's the ones with the stakes. You see the stakes by the tomatoes?
Yeah, I sowed that one earlier when Judith was talking about pruning.
Those plants are 18 inches apart.
Okay.
And I'm sure when I get home, I had them tied up, but there's going to be some of them beat down after that rain. So anyway, grow your own stuff. I know exactly what Georgie's talking about getting stuff and it's spoiled inside. Okay, I'll close with this and talk about the chemicals. They, for years, used an insecticide on lemons and citrus groups, oranges. That chemical was developed by the Nazis during World War II as a nerve agent for chemical warfare. They were using that base chemical as an insecticide, and they the federal government stopped them from using it, and the farmers kept going back to court and getting the injunction lifted. But that can give you an example, and I'm not dissing the farmers because it's hard to make a living, but there's a lot of chemicals between the fertilizer and the pest control.
All right, Charlie, be back next month, and you going to stay on the same schedule?
You're the boss.
All right, so he'll be back on the 8th of July. I'll be on vacation, so maybe off Scott again.
Scott, okay.
All right. He's already doing cold cases. You might as well hang out and do garden jargon, right?
Yeah, I felt bad I didn't get to hear Cole. I was watching Scott make the sausages, he says.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Coming up, Jimmy Fela, Fox Cross America, Bucks. Otani on the hill tonight for the Bucks. Or I wish for the Bucks. For the Dodgers and for the what are they called? The Pirates. Jared Jones. I couldn't think of his name. Jared Jones will be on the hill for the Bucks tonight. So
they're easy to forget.
Yeah. Talk to you tomorrow.
Attention, Western Pennsylvania sportsmen. The annual Sirius Shriners Sportsman's Bash is coming Saturday, June 20th, and we're giving away more than $62,000 in prizes. Win premium firearms from Daniel Defense, Benelli, Browning, Colt, Smith & Wesson, Beretta, Marlin, Kimber, Weatherby, and more. Your ticket includes food, beer, additional prize raffles, and a full day of excitement under the pavilion. Tickets are selling fast.